fortrump.com. America's watchdog Tom Fitton, president of Judicial Watch, tells each and every American how we can help expose the Obama corruption. He wants us to call the White House and ask them to declassify the documents, and there's the number there. Fitton shows us the spy warrants. Judicial Watch has sued with the Freedom of Information Act FOIA for the 4 FISA spy warrants on American citizen Carter Page. He held up the spy warrants. The last one was signed by Rod Rosenstein, Deputy Attorney General. Rosenstein is now under grand jury investigation, and he can no longer sign any more FISA applications. Well, that's a good thing. The spy warrants have 20 pages of redactions. Tom explained the spy warrants that Judicial Watch received on behalf of the American people are heavily redacted. Specifically, redaction is typically used in the case of protecting national secrets or for protecting the identity of operatives. The Judicial Watch president said the reason the 20 pages are redacted are not for those concerns, but rather because the deep state doesn't want its corruption exposed to you, the American people. America's watchdog believes the president will declassify. He asked for our help. Tom explains that Congress has seen the unredacted copies of the spy warrants. Additionally, he told us that we, the people, and the President of the United States need to trust Congress. Congress has seen the warrants in unredacted format. Tom said that this is only half of what is in there, and he holds up the 4 spy warrants, and what else is in there is just as bad, if not worse, Tom told America. And there he says, call the White House to declassify the FISA documents. America's watchdog asked for our help. Fitton said, so the president is thinking about declassifying this. He should. I trust he will. I think he is going to do it. He said, in the meantime, you should let the White House know what you think about this declassification effort. Damning new Strzok text to Page, the Times is angry with us about the Washington Post, I guess, the WP scoop, I guess I'm correct. Sarah Carter, D.C., more reason to both declassify the FISA material and shut down the Mueller probe. Yeah, shut it down. It's worthless. And tell them to pay back the money, too.
Because he's been talking about this corruption, and he's been talking about, these are the spy warrants, by the way, that Judicial Watch uncovered through Freedom of Information Act requests. They're heavily redacted. Now, there are 20 pages or so of this material that it doesn't need to be redacted because it's not really classified in the traditional sense. It's classified because the deep state doesn't want its corruption to be exposed to you, the American people. The members of Congress who have reviewed this have shown that it doesn't, I've said that it doesn't need to be classified. I trust them. The president should trust them. We already know the material that had been declassified already by the president. As a result, it was the applications were released to us. You can see that it didn't need to be declassified. It didn't need to be classified. Its classification basically was just covering corruption. So already we know there's corruption based on what's been released partially here. And from what we've learned from those who've looked at it and have talked about this on TV and elsewhere, that this is only half what's in there. And what else is in there is just as bad, if not worse. So the president is thinking about declassifying this. He should. I trust he will. I think he's going to do it. In the meantime, you should let the White House know what you think about this declassification effort. I'll give you the number, but I don't know it off the top of my head, but you can find it. We'll probably post it on the screen later or in our feeds later, but this is pretty serious. This is a pretty serious scandal. And if the president wants to take if the president really wants to strike a blow against the deep state, this is what he needs to be doing. He needs to be taking these steps towards transparency, ordering disclosure, letting the sun shine in on the corruption, targeting him, his associates, and his family. Because President Obama, who had a big speech this week, can you believe the University of Illinois gave President Obama an ethics award? Can you believe it?
Yeah, I can.
The IRS scandal, the Benghazi lies. He called Benghazi a conspiracy theory, by the way.
Uh-huh.
President Obama behind also this deep state spying on President Trump back when he was a candidate. The best he can do is to just follow the law, tell the agencies to follow the Freedom of Information Act, and release the documents. And of course, Congress is asking the documents pursuant to their authority under the Constitution, and they're getting the runaround.
Of course they are.
So this is the opportunity the president doesn't need to do too much. He's already taking steps towards transparency, I know. And these additional steps can have tremendous results.
Yeah, Obama just calls you cuckoo that we're asking for these, that we're talking about Benghazi, for example. Call you a nut job. Yeah, we're conspiracy theorists. Yeah, right. You know, and yet people actually believe this moron. But again, why? Because they listen to mainstream media. They're not getting the real story, you see? But I say, not only unredact them, Mueller knew this witch hunt was a phony. Tell him to pay for it. Tell him to pay the money back to the people. That's right. Not just shut